Thank you for tuning in to Mokah Speaks. It's time for a real conversation. Speak your mind, speak your truth. Welcome back to another episode of Mokah Speaks podcast, where we speak our mind and speak our truth. I share my journey as an activist, and I keep you informed about what's going on in local politics and in your community. Now, I want to lay down the rules for today. Today, we're focused on a conversation between District 9 incumbent Commissioner Ovita Thornton and challenger Tracy Smith. This is not a campaign speech, y'all. It is direct exchange of ideas. The goal is for clarity and to inform voters. We're almost, less than a week away from the election day. So each guest will have an opportunity, 2 minutes, to respond to these questions, and we will also allow brief, not long, but brief rebuttals. So please, sisters, keep the answers focused and respectful, and let's have a good conversation. So, Ms. Thornton, the first question is for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You've worked on housing initiatives during your time in office. What specific results can residents point to that show real progress in affordability, not just planning, not just talking about it, but actual impact?
I would say that one of the things that has developed, and most people don't know, we've had housing studies over and over again. Our last one was in 2023, and through the GET committee, we have moved forward. We have now the Housing Trust Fund committee that's functional. We now have the zoning committee that is functional, and we have the land bank committee that is functional. But what isn't functional and what we don't talk about is when developers have to present their plans and it takes like forever. That's why we have not seen the development with Mokah Creek, Saxton Woods, out on Newton Bridge, because I just don't think some of the staff have the same vision or don't see the urgency of affordable housing. I think all of that is going to change now with our new county manager.
Okay, so Ms. Smith, what do you believe has not worked in the current approach to housing, and what would you do differently?
Well, good morning there, Ms. Mokah, and good morning to Ovita Thornton as well. Currently, Athens Clarke County is experiencing a crisis in housing, and not having enough housing is an issue. The University of Georgia students impact our housing rate and our ability to build and to be able to provide the necessary housing that we need. But because of the development, the cost of housing is rising. Our responsibility towards that is increasing the tax digest for property owners. So we have a lot of complex issues that are affecting our housing crisis here in Athens Clarke County.
So what do you think is not currently working?
Not having enough housing is not working. Affordable programs that our citizens can take advantage of is not readily available to the citizens.
Okay, so Ms. Ovita, do you agree or disagree with what Ms. Tracy Smith has said?
Yes, I agree with Tracy 100%. But what Tracy's missing is why, the why.
Mm-hmm.
And the why is I do think there are policies in place. It should not take a developer 2 and 3 years to get a housing permit completed. The other problem I've met with the housing, the Association of Home Builders this week, and they were telling me how the process is lagging. You have to talk to the folk who are directly doing the work or trying to do the work and find out those obstacles. We have not done that under the past administration. Again, I'm putting a lot of stock into our county manager because the buck always stops with the county manager because he manages day to day.
Okay.
But we as the commissioners need to know when there's problems so we can bring it to the county manager to be fixed. So I do think that Tracy's right, but it's just one more step to it that we have to get behind these developments. Right
Okay.
now, we are, oh, I'm sorry, my 2
Okay.
minutes up.
All right. Now, Tracy, what is your plans? You heard what Ms. Ovita said is some of the issues and the barriers that is causing the lack of housing. What plans do you have or ideas do you have if you were to become commissioner to increase housing and to meet the demands?
Well, one of the things that we have to do, I think, is that we have to know what's going on. And she was so gracious to be able to acknowledge the fact that there was another step, aware of that step. But we have to be able to know what our government is doing so that we can be more informed when we are approaching these issues. We have a housing crisis, and that is a very complex situation. Our homeless is affecting our housing. Everything that we do is affecting our housing. Our new development is affecting housing. So to be able to come up with a plan to just say, well, we're going to implement this. One, we need to know what our limitations are, and then to know what is available, to build around that and be able to offer our citizens a more sustainable alternative to housing, because budget-friendly housing is a very important factor. Oftentimes, people don't think of budget-friendly housing, but when the term budget-friendly, it means to be able to pay your bill for your housing note, but being able to be able to pay for the additional services that you are needing in order to have a quality filled life. So being able to come and say, well, we need to enforce our rents, put a rent cap on the rental rate because our rent has increased 3- and 4-folds, but we're in a free marketplace. Our owners can decide on what those rent prices can be.
All right. So thank you for your feedback. Residents still have concerns about sidewalks, lighting, and infrastructure gaps. What projects are complete because of your leadership, Ms. Ovita, and what is still unfinished that you will take responsibility for?
I am so excited because the 2023 T-SPLOS is in action. And I will even acknowledge Tracy as being the 2023 T-SPLOS representative that I appointed. And it was a push. And Tracy knows it was a push. But Berkman Place has speed humps now. They were installed about a month ago. Calvin Lane has speed humps. Linda Avenue now has street lighting. Danielsville, I've been working with Jackson EMC. They will start the installment of streetlights on Danielsville Road. And anybody who knows how dark Danielsville Road, that should have been done long before I came on board. We never had commissioners that advocated strongly for that far end of North Athens. Right now, if you go to Danielsville and Isla, we're doing construction right now through the SS4, I shouldn't have tried it, Safe Schools for All Act. We're fixing that intersection right there where, who's that? Scott's Barbecue is. And you know, it's always hard to come out that little V shape. We're fixing that. And we also put in our curve on Harvey Mathis where 2 people were killed. So that's happening.
Okay, so Tracy, did you have any feedback or anything that you want to say? And then your question rolling into that is, what would you prioritize first if elected, and why do you believe it has not already been completed?
Well, I would like to say that I did serve on the T-SPLOSH 2023, and the street lights and the road common devices and the improvements that we are seeing now is because of the work and dedication not only by me, but we had a Mr. Mr. Dedrick, and he pronounced his name Dedrick
His
Morse.
name is Dietrich.
Okay, Dietrich Morse.
Demetric
Morse. He participated on that. And also Mr. Quazon Payne, who was literally a tour guide for us during this particular process, and Mr. Ray, who stepped down, and then I was invited to join on the committee. But Mr. Ray Winfrey, he's the owner of the Suburban Resort on Danielsville. He participated in that. But we are seeing the fruits of our labor, and I'm not quite sure exactly whatever obstacle our current commissioner was experiencing. I wasn't privy to that. But this particular process wasn't very, very difficult as some people may make it out to be. It was about providing the necessary facts so that we can give that to the staff for Athens, Clarke County, and the other bodies of individual who may have needed it. But it wasn't a difficult process at all.
30 seconds.
Oh, 30 seconds. Okay.
Okay, I have a timekeeper in here. We're
Yeah,
trying to make it work because one
Okay.
of them have to leave. We can't,
Okay.
we have two other people coming on. So
Question.
keep an eye open for the timekeeper, ladies.
Mhm.
All right.
I got a rebuttal.
All right.
It'll be
It
quick.
has to be less than a minute.
Okay. First of all, the hard work was done before you came on.
Mm.
The hard work started in 2022
Mm.
when we did the community input sessions.
Mm.
It also was with staff.
But why has that got to be difficult when people are giving their opinions? That's not a difficult process.
And again, Tracy, we had a manager
Mm-hmm.
that was not as intentional as we were. Even you had to call me. No, Mr.
Mm.
Ray got off
Mm.
because they talked down to him.
Mm.
So it was difficult.
When I spoke with Mr. Ray, that wasn't the reason that he
But
had
that's
given me.
okay. But that's okay. But I'm saying it was not. You came on in 2023 when it was
Mhm.
done. You helped us
No,
push
it
it
was
through.
not done.
No, the plans had been submitted.
Mm-hmm.
We did the
you
work,
have
and
made this process
we
more
have
difficult than it had to
because
be.
you don't know what you're
Ding,
doing.
ding, ding, ding. Okay, ladies. So we have heard it. We have clear different opinions about what has been done and what needs to be done. So some residents say they don't feel consistently engaged by elected officials.
Mm.
How will you ensure year-round visibility, accountability, and communication, not just during election, because this happens often.
Mm.
This is when we see people talking, engaging, being friendly, all these things happening, and neighbors say, what happens after election? They be tired after election, but we expect to see them come back out at least 90 days. Let's give them at least, 30 days, 60 days to just recoup. It is a lot of work, but let's answer that question. How will you ensure, Smith, you can go first. How will you ensure year-round visibility, accountability, and this is something that you have been big on about communication, not just during elections?
Yes. One of the challenges that we have in District 9 is that we don't have communication. There is not a method of delivery of information. There may be town hall meetings. There may be less than 30 people in attendance to those town hall meetings. To a district, according to our commissioner, over 17,000 people that are in District 9. They're more, according to the census, it may be more 22 to 25,000. But out of 17,000 people, if you got less than 40 people that are in attendance, that means that you got a problem somewhere. Someone is not getting the information and the messages. It's important to be able to have a system in place to be able to deliver information to the residents. We are now looking at development in our areas, and we don't even know what those different developments are, how they're going to impact us economically. And this is something that we should be a basic job or responsibility of a person who's advocating for your needs. You have to be able to know what the needs are for your citizens that you're representing. It has been 7.5 years, and we don't have a formal sense of communication, of delivery of information. First, that is one thing that has to be fixed, is being able to communicate with the residents. And two, we got isolated pockets of community people. We got roads that are not doesn't have surface top. And previously, our current commissioner gave away $8 million that could have come to our district.
You can finish, yeah. Okay. All right. Woo! Lord of mercy. I'm sorry, the Caribbean came out of me after that one. I'm sorry.
It jumped on me. It jumped on me.
You know, our sister be like, snap, snap, but it's a lot of mercy in Jamaican language. So anyways, how do you respond to concerns that constituents still feel disconnected despite long-term representation? This will be your 8th
Yeah.
year. Yeah. So how do you feel that it has come up a lot? You know, constituents have brought it up,
Mm.
not just in your district, others too. So what would you do differently?
We have, and town halls are important. Matter of fact, Tracy's been to several of my town halls. And I have found that when we send out mass mailings and calls, the same few folks show up. That's a problem. How do we get people engaged? And that's one of the things that I think that we have to take a proactive approach. I will be starting a little podcast, experimental, with Miss Yvonne, and it's going to be called 48 Hours After. And 48 Hours After, we'll talk about what happened at the commission meeting on that Tuesday, just a summary. The other thing is that I did have and I still do, have a text list of phone numbers. When information needs to go out, I send out group texts. So some people respond, some people don't. And it was a group text. I stopped that and do individual texts now because the group text was manipulated. So now people still get information, but they get it texts. And if some people are not getting them anymore, that's because they were the manipulators.
All right. Lot of mercy on that one too. All right. Do you have a rebuttal?
Well,
Because I know you deal with technology as well. So what is something that you would implement that is not being implemented? And if you have rebuttal, what is that? Before we get down to the final question.
sometimes people use old technology in a modern field. And because you got a diversity within your community, there are just some ways of communicating is just somewhat outdated. But one of the things that I have looked to do is I've developed an app. And on that app, this is just a tool. It's not meant for everyone, but this is a way where our citizens can keep in contact with me, share information with me, report any kind of issues that they see, if it's roads, sidewalks, or whatever, or if it's emergency. If there is a limb that's in the road and if they have to redirect traffic, we can put this information into our feed system, and that will allow our residents to become somewhat informed immediately. And when there are emergencies that are going on, we can use that same tool to be able to communicate with our residents. One of the things that I presented to our commissioner previously was a health star. This was for our senior citizens, our homebound veterans who are not able to get out, that have challenges. We have, within this app, we can create mobile resources. Anytime that Athens Clarke County Police Department has a QR code, and on that QR code, it has a listing of different resources that are available to the citizens of Athens Clarke County. We're going to have the same thing here in District 9.
All right, so we're almost to the end, and I want to respect Commissioner Thornton's time. She has some meetings that she has to go to, so I'm going to give one last question. This is your moment. I heard they be listening to this show in the barbershop, y'all. Shout out to the barbershops. I love the barbershops and beauty salons. That's where they talk, they gossip. Shout out to everybody that's listening. Thank you for tuning in. So this is the final question, all right? Why should voters choose you over the other opponent. Both of you say that you care about the same issues: housing, infrastructure, community engagement. One has a long standing of serving for 8 years now, and then another one is a newcomer and see where there's areas that can be improved and want the opportunity to do so, and our incumbent wants the opportunity to reserve. But you got to tell us clearly what makes y'all the better candidate. What would you do to be able to make a difference for your district, and why are you the better candidate? Who wants to go first?
Miss Tracy.
I think our commissioner should go first because she has apparently whatever she's doing is not working.
And that's why you should go first.
And no, I would like to know what it is our commissioner is supposed to be doing.
And that's
because
why you
this
should
is
go
not
first.
Okay, so okay. Miss Ovita, do you want to go first?
No.
Tracy, do you want to go first?
I go first.
Thank you.
The thing is, our current incumbent does not respect people's space. If as the moderator of Mokah Speaks, when you say something, she has to be still, and you have to be still. And you're just asking a question. To vote for Ovita Thornton is to vote for the status quo. People are not getting the services. They're not being informed. They are not being actively engaged into community activities. We got isolated pockets within the community. They don't even know who their current commissioner is. When I'm going out there door to door, I'm having to explain what should be going on in our community. And this is not fair to any incumbent, a person who is coming to look to be the next commissioner, because our current commissioner should have already covered that, because she is representing our interests behind the rail at the mayor's and commissioner's meeting. How are you going to represent people and you're not communicating with them? You're not finding out what it is that they need. You may know what a small segment of the community or population may want, but you don't have a grasp, an idea of what the totality is, what is needed in District 9. If you did, you would not have given away $3 million for a park and green space.
Do you want to tell us why they should vote for you, Miss Ovita? This is your opportunity to at least have 2 minutes to respond back. And I want y'all to, feel like y'all have had the opportunity to express yourself in this last minute to convince voters.
Again, I'm not going to correct some of the misinformation because it'll go into my 2 minutes. But I will say this: the same idealistic thoughts that Tracy had, I had it in 2018. I thought that I was going to come in there and rock the world. It's not like that. It is not like that at all. You have to deal with so much bureaucracy. We had a manager that was expert in bureaucracy. It was so bad that I made the motion to accept his resignation, because I couldn't get the support that I needed from the other commissioners. There is a process that you have to go through. And it's not a process that I make up. It's the bureaucracy that was placed here, I guess, since 1991. So I will say this: the reason folks should vote for me, in 34 years, this is the most that we have seen in District 9. Now, you may think it's a little feat, speed humps here and lighting there, but 34 years. Our mayor used to be the commissioner for District 9. Now...
Okay, that's our time is up, but I would like a rebuttal.
Okay. I'm sorry, ladies. We're out of time. This is Mokah Speaks. We're going to a commercial, y'all. I got to get some water to drink.